What's going on, guys? How you doing? Welcome to Man and his dog. Dog's down there. Up you get, boy. Oi, up. That's it. You say hello. Come up here. Come up here. Come up here. There we go. You say hello to everyone. Yes, Man and his dog, how to play drum lesson. Today we are looking at Echo by Incubus. Now, I've already done a playthrough, which is, link for it is in the description. And have a look at that if you haven't already seen it. Get out of there, you. Oi, get out, get out, get out. So why have I chosen this song? A couple of reasons. I really like it, obviously, or I wouldn't have played it. It's one of my wife's favourite songs, and it's one of my son's favourite songs. He listens to it most nights before he goes to bed, because it's nice and chilled. Now, the thing with the drums on this song, very different to what we did last time in the last lesson. This one is very subtle. It's all about dynamics, accents. There's a few different rudiments in it, and we're going to be talking about those rudiments and also how we can apply them to different situations. As I did in the last video, I want to have some bits for everyone. So there's going to be some slightly easier broken down parts that people who aren't as fast with their hands can work on, and obviously the full thing is to be able to play the whole song all the way through. Now, this song's probably in the sort of medium level. It doesn't sound particularly hard, but it's about technique. If your technique and your accents and your stickings are all good and all nice, you won't find this too difficult. Again, I'm going to give you a few different options of the way things are played, and we'll take it from there. So without further ado, let's get straight down into the intro. Now, with this intro, it's all hi-hat, right? It's just 16th notes on the hi-hat, right, left, right, left, right, left the whole time. But it's all about where the accents are. There's only a couple of accents, right? So we'll go through the position of those accents in a minute. And again, it's all on the screen now, so you can see everything written out. So this is in 2-bar phrases. So you've got a total of 8 bars in the intro. The first 6 bars are the same, just repeated 2-bar phrase all the way through. And then on the last time round, the first bar is the same, the second bar is different. But it's not particularly hard, okay? So you're playing 16th notes, right, left, right, left, right, left. Now, in the first bar, we're going to put an accent on 2, completely normal to do that. And we're also going to put an accent on 3 and, right? So there's a little bit of a push with that second accent. It doesn't just sit where it normally would if you were playing 2 and 4. It's accent on 2, accent on 3 and. They're both going to be right hand accents. When you get into the second bar, again, you've got an accent on 2, but then the next accents are going to be on 3 and 4. Now, the weird thing about that is you're then leading that with a left hand accent. So those two together, you're going to be playing all sort of tap strokes, and you're going to bring your hands up for a upstroke, upstroke, and then down, down, yeah, to get that 4, all right? So that's the first 3 lines of the intro. Let's have a little look at that at a slow speed. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing with the stick in there. Everything's very, very small. So the dynamics are all very quiet. And then just for those accents, sticks coming up and just letting the stick bring out the accents. You're not trying to hit hard. You don't need to hit hard on a song like this. When Jose plays this, my mate Jose, so when he plays it on the record, he uses rods, but most of the time, or all the performances I've seen of him playing it live, he's been using sticks. A lot of guys, when they're covering this, they use rods. I'm using V drums, I've got to use sticks because rods just don't really cut it on here. So if I was playing it on an acoustic kit, I would probably play it with rods as well, just because it sounds more authentic. So let's go to the slightly higher tempo, have a little look at that. So these next 2 bars are very, very similar. The only difference is, well, this isn't a difference. This is the same. The first bar is exactly the same. Accent on 2, accent on 3 and. Second bar, accent on 2, accent on 3, and then accent on a 4, but the accent on a 4, you're going to play the 4 on an open hi-hat, okay? And that's the only difference. and just let that hi-hat ring. Okay, so let's have a little listen to that at slow speed first of all. Okay, so exactly the same thing with the sticking, bringing the sticks up that little bit higher for a downstroke when I'm accenting, and just letting the sticks do all of the work. And then, as I say, just changing where those accents are a little bit by adding one on beat 3 of the second bar and letting the hi-hat ring open at the end. Okay, so we're here at the 2 higher tempos now. So now we're into the main groove of the song, which is going to play throughout all the verses. All right. Now it's effectively 8 bars, 16 bars. Okay, and you're going to split into groups of 4. It's a repeating pattern. It's the same groove over and over and over again. The only thing that differs is sometimes you're doing 16th notes between hi-hat and snare. Sometimes you're doing them just on hi-hat. Sometimes you're using a splash, and then you've got the occasional crash on the 1 of the start of a group of 4 bars. So all we're playing is 8th notes on the hi-hat, and then you're going to put your kick on 1 and 3, really standard, and then we're going to put the snare on 2, and then we're going to have the drum and bassy type thing of having the snare drum on 3 and. So we're going to have this little push, rather than keeping the snare on 4 where it would feel very straight. So once you've got your hi-hats playing 8th notes, you've got your kick on 1 and 3, you've got your snare on 2 and 3 and, all you've got to do is add in some ghost notes. Now again, like I said, this one's all about dynamics, so making sure your ghost notes are really subtle. You don't want to be playing ticka 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 when you're doing them, because then they're not ghost notes, you're smacking the hell out of them. And the position of those ghost notes, or you, get out of there, you're not allowed behind there. Position of your ghost notes is going to be on 2A, 4E and 4A. So effectively on beat 4 you're playing a 16th note roll between your right hand and your left hand, but your right hand is on the hi-hat and your left hand is on the snare. And it's going to do the same thing on the first bar and the second bar and the third bar, but then on the 4th bar the only difference is we're going to play that 16th note roll on the hi-hats. So your left hand's going to come up from the snare and play on the hi-hat. Now once you've gone around those 4 bars, we are then going to go on to the next 4 bars where it does exactly the same thing, again starting with a crash and having all of the ghost notes in exactly the same places. The only difference when you get to the end of this one is that on the 4th bar, on beat 4, you're going to play the same 16th note roll, but now you're going to play it on a splash cymbal. Jose from Incubus loves his splash cymbals. He's got 2 of them mounted above his hi-hats, and generally if you're playing on acoustic and you had 2 splashes, you would play right on 1 splash. Let me just get the dog out of here. Oi, over this side, you. Over this side. Sit. Ooh, what have I got for you? Ooh. Have I got something tasty? Are you going to be a good boy? Sit. Right. Is this nice? Is this going to be a good little... Yeah? Are you going to give me a high five? Yeah? If you haven't got splashes, you can always do it on a crash. There's a little sort of shh. But generally it's a tick 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 on your 2 splashes, right? So let's have a little listen to this one played through at low speed first of all, and then we will build up the tempos on it. Okay, so hopefully you all followed that. That all made a lot of sense. So what I've done is I've just played round 8 bars. Hello. I've just played round 8 bars. You can smell treats in my pocket, can't you? And you can hear at the end of 4 bars, I do the hi-hat thing, and then the end of 8 bars, I do the splash thing. It would then just go round again. It just does it round again. So it's very, very simple. Okay, so let's hear that at a higher tempo. So, pre-chorus, all we're going to be doing 16th notes on the snare drum. Again, this is all about accents, right? There's very little in the way of kick drums on this. It's a 2-bar phrase, okay? And we're going to repeat it 4 times, again with a slight change on the 4th time round. Now, on the beat 1, you're going to play a crash and a kick, and then you're straight into your snare roll. And obviously the whole time you're playing right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Right? Now you've got your accents in the first bar. Your snare you're going to accent on to and then you're going to accent on 4. And then we're going to bring in a little rudiment at the end, which is effectively we're going to double up our singles for 2 of those 16th notes, which is effectively playing a 5-stroke roll. Not necessarily in the position that a 5-stroke roll would normally be. When you learn 5-stroke rolls, you sort of learn them 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and double and etc. We're doing it from the and to the 1, but the sticking is going to be the same. Oi, dog, stop it, stop it. So in the second bar, we're then going to accent on the 1 because we've just played our 5-stroke roll, so we want that accent on the 1, and we're also going to accent 1 and on 2. All right. And then there's a couple of different ways that I've seen people play this. I've done it the way that I saw Jose play it on a live thing, but I've seen a few people cover this because I like to do my research. I've seen a few people cover this and they've played it with more of a triplet sticking right to left single strokes, right? So again, looking at this music at the bottom, you see the last section, the last from beat 3, we're still playing 3E and 4E and but we're going to play right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left. So you're playing a triplet sticking of right, left, left, so that you can play those accents easily with your right hand on the right. The people that I've seen play it with the single stroke triplets, or not triplets, but triplet sticking, triplet accents rather, have played an accent on the ride and then an accent on the hats. Okay, like that, as opposed to right? But again, when I watched what he did live, he did it this way, playing right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left. Okay, so let's get into having a little look at that at the slow speed. So again, what you notice, stick control wise, everything's very small so that you can make the accents come out easier. I said this to, when I'm teaching kids about accents, not just kids, when I'm teaching people about accents. The thing about trying to make something accented is it doesn't mean you have to hit it harder. You don't have to play considerably louder. And the example I give them is if you're in a room full of people making loads of noise, and you want to be heard, you've got to be really loud. The easiest way to be heard in a room full of people is to tell them all to shut up, right? So if you can make your normal notes nice and quiet, because that's what it is in this song, it's a quiet, very delicate, lovely song. If you can make all your normal notes quiet and tap strokes, the sticks just coming down from a higher place will give you those accents. You don't have to try and smash the hell out of it. You know, previous songs that I've done, I'm all about belting the hell out of it. But if you've got a song like this, you don't want to be playing it loud. It's not a loud song. And yeah, working on bringing your accents out and making sure that you're only accenting the notes that need to be done, and keeping really good stick control. So the key thing with this one is, especially if you're not used to playing very quiet and having accented notes, is to take it very slow, work to your click, and make sure you're thinking about your sticking, what sort of strokes you're using when you're playing them. Okay, so let's look at the next speeds up. Okay, so the last part of the pre-chorus as we going into the chorus. Again, we're keeping... What do you want? Again, we're keeping our 16th notes going on the snare drum. We're going to have some accents in a couple of different places, and then we go into a different... What? What's the matter? I haven't got any more treats for you. You've already eaten them all. On this last one, we're going to keep the 16th notes going. We're going to add a crash on 1, as we were doing before. We're going to have a snare drum on 2 and, but we're also going to have a snare drum on 3 and on 4. Right, so we're starting to add in a few extra snare accents. We're then also going to go crash on 4 and, right? So again, you can see it written along the bottom of the screen here. So we're keeping all of this sticking as right, left, right, left. All of the accents are going to be right-handed accents this time because they're on and or they're on the beat. So you've got accent on 2 and, accent on 3 and, accent on 4. They're all right-hand accents. And then we go into the next bar, which is going to be, again, slightly open to interpretation. I'm going to tell you what I hear him doing. Again, I've seen people play this differently. I only just started playing it like this because I used to play it completely different, and then I've really analysed it for trying to do this. So the first beat of the bar, still 16th notes, still on the snare drum, no accents. So we're just carrying on, and our fill actually starts from beat 2. Now the way he comes in with the fill is it definitely comes in as 6 tuplets. So effectively 16th note triplets. Yeah, so you've got six notes in that beat of the bar, and you're going to do 6 notes on the snare, 6 notes on the high tom, and then I change back to 16th notes for the middle and the floor tom. So we go snare for 6, high tom for 6, middle tom for 2, floor tom for 2, and you're combining the different subdivisions of 16th notes with 6 tuplets. Now, the way that you play these 6 tuplets is completely up to you. If you want to do them as singles, that's fine. Personally, 6 tuplets are my favourite grouping of note, and I like to do them as an inverted paradiddle diddle. The sticking for that is going to be right, left, left, right, right, left, and you would, if you were playing it as a 6 tuplet paradiddle diddle, you would generally accent the singles and play the doubles quietly. So here's that fill played at a low tempo. So this is that section, those 2 bars coming out of the pre-chorus and into the fill at your higher tempos. Now we're into the chorus. Now in the chorus, again, follows the same theme of the rest of the song, is 16th notes. I've seen people play this in different ways. Again, when I've been watching videos of Incubus doing it, this is what it seems like Jose is doing. He's playing 16th notes between his ride and his hi-hats. I've seen other people do it where they just follow the accent of the kick drum on the ride and play the rest of it on the hi-hat. But looking at what he's playing, that doesn't look like what he's doing. He's playing it as straight 16s between ride and hats. So you're following the same pattern that you've been playing the rest of the time. Your kick drum's going to be on 1 and 3. We're going to add a couple more in, and your snare drum is just going to be on 2 and 3 and, so you've got that little push. And then again, like we were doing with the hi-hats before in the intro, we're going to, in the second bar, shut up noisy, in the second bar we're going to have the snare on 2 and then also the snare on 3 and 4. Okay, so now what you've got to think about is which hand is going to be hitting the snare and which hand is going to be leading when you hit the snare on which bit. You've also got a kick drum on 4 and on the first bar. All right, so again, let's have a little look at this at a slow tempo and then we'll start to build up from there. So with this one, all it does is just repeats. It's a 2-bar phrase again, as most of these are, and it just repeats that 2-bar phrase around 4 times, okay? So let's take up the tempo a little bit. Earlier on we were talking about rudiments. Everyone's got a favourite rudiment. My favourite rudiments are probably paradiddles, all different kinds, in particular inverted paradiddle diddles. But yeah, everyone's generally got their own favourite, the ones that they tend to go to more than others. Have you got a favourite rudiment, boy? What are you saying? What are you saying? Huh? A ruff? You like a ruff, do you? What I didn't learn when I first started playing drums was quite how important and how rudiments are the fundamental basics for everything you can do on a drum set or on a snare drum. My first drum teacher, who I shall name no names, but just said this is a single stroke roll and this is a mummy daddy roll, which I thought was the worst sounding thing I'd ever heard in my life. Double stroke roll sounds much cooler than going mummy daddy. Anyway, he didn't explain to me the point of them. Oi, you, get out of here. Come here, come up, come on. He didn't explain to me what the point of them was, how they could be used. He didn't sort of show me a beat with a single stroke roll or how a double stroke roll would be incorporated or what paradiddles were for and what the point of all of these different stickings were. You know, because on paper, singles, doubles and paradiddles look the same. The notes are all the same. They're 16th notes or they're 8th notes or they're 32nd notes. But, you know, what's the point in playing one rather than the other? So it was only when I started to teach that I actually started to break down these different things and started to get favourite rudiments, you know, that worked for me. This little exercise that we're going to look at now is just incorporating 5-stroke rolls into a single stroke roll. You know, the basic principle of a double stroke roll is that you can double up your singles. Yeah, it should be easier to play fast with 2 notes on each hand than it is with 1 note on each hand. Quite simple. Generally, single stroke rolls are going to be more powerful, but doubles should allow you to play faster phrases. So all we're doing with this phrase is just practicing 16th note singles and doubling up the last 2 notes, right? So we'll have a little look at this at slow speed. So now, as you start to increase the speed, I've obviously done it very, very slow so you can see the stickings and the way my hands are moving in that first one. In these next ones, I really start to pick the pace up and change them more to 16th notes, right? So the doubles are now 32nd notes, whereas in that last one, I'm pretty sure I was playing 8th notes into 16th notes. So now we're doing 16th notes into 32nd notes. What you notice is I'm not playing the double, I'm using my fingers, I'm controlling the bounce of the stick. It's like a double tap stroke, effectively. And I'm not really putting any accents on this. They're all pretty even notes. But it's just one of those things where you've got to build up slow, okay? And let the sticks and the bounce of the sticks and your fingers do the work to start to bring out those doubles. So we'll start to check these at higher speeds. So what you notice with those quicker ones is that my hands, effectively, if you look at the sort of side view video, my hands look like they're moving pretty much the same amount for the singles and the doubles, because I'm not doing an extra movement with my wrist. It's my fingers that are pulling those double strokes out, right? So this is the important thing with that. When you first start doing doubles, I saw a very, very good video, lesson video with Thomas Lang, who's just, you know, stupidly good, and he did a whole thing about when people learning doubles wrong, where they accent the first note of the double, but what he does is he accents the second note of the double. Now it's very hard to do at a high speed, but the point of it is that you really start to get your fingers to pull the double stroke out, right? And then when you play them at fast speed, you end up with even notes rather than loud first stroke and quiet second stroke. So by trying to accent the second note at slow speed, as you start to speed up, you end up with just a really nice even double stroke roll. A great way to practice doubles is to practice them on a pillow, because there's no bounce. So you have to use finger and wrist and sort of really pull the second note out, or to maybe even not a pillow because that's really soft, but even like playing on a drum stool or something that's just got a little bit of give to it. Because when you practice doubles on a practice pad, or like on an electronic kit, for example, they're so easy, they're so bouncy that you can just fly around them. And you've got to think about, if you want to do a fast double stroke roll on a floor tom, then you've got no hope if you've only ever played on a practice pad, because you're going to get on that tom and it's just going to go and you're not going to get anything out of it, right? So that's a really important thing with practicing doubles, which then leads into your 5-stroke rolls. Okay, so looking at the fill that we were doing to come out of the pre-chorus into the chorus, and the way, as I said, that I stick this is I do a 6 tuplet, and followed by another 6 tuplet, followed by some 16th notes between the middle tom and the floor tom. Snare roll that was already going on carries on through beat 1, so our fill effectively is beat 2, 3 and 4. Okay. Now what I've done here is just broken down the way that I like to play 6 tuplets, because this is probably the rudiment that I use more than any other. Like, I've had mates take the mick out of me for the amount I use this, because it's just so nice. It's so easy once you get it fast, and it flows so well. Now what it is, it's an inverted paradiddle diddle. So on a paradiddle diddle, paradiddle diddle. If you don't know about the way paradiddles work, the word diddle means double. So when you go paradiddle diddle, you're going single, double, double, right? If you're playing a normal paradiddle, it's paradiddle, paradiddle. So again, you've got single, single, double, because it's the word paradiddle. So on this inverted one, what we're going to do, instead of playing a normal paradiddle diddle, we're going to flip it around a little bit, so the sticking becomes single, double, double, single, which means you've got one accent effectively at the start and one accent at the end of the group of 6, which creates a very nice rolling pattern. And the really cool thing about it is effectively you're just playing 2 triplets, yeah? But your triplet sticking is going to be right, left, left, and then right, right, left, right? So it's just a couple of different ways of playing a group of 3. So in this video, I've just done very, very slow playing inverted paradiddle diddles, so you can see how the accents work, right? And in another lesson, I'm going to break them down to hell and sort of give you all of the things that I do with them, how to use them in beats, how to come out of them into different fills, how to extend them, how to mess around with the accents and all of this sort of stuff. Because this, of all rudiments, this is the one that I've probably rinsed the most and probably used too much. So let's have a little check at this video. So this is just the basic sticking for an inverted paradiddle diddle. Right, left, left, right, right, left. Okay? So on this next video, on this next little section, we are going to look more at the fill that comes out of the pre-chorus into the chorus. So this is going to be, because we're not worrying about the 16th note snares that are going on from the bar before and leading into this, we're just going to rest on beat 1. So we're going to have a 4 count to count us in, and then we're going to rest on beat 1, and then we're going to play our fill. So it's going to be that same sticking of right, left, right, left, and then right, left, right, left, and that's going to go from the snare onto the first tom, and then you're going to come out of that into just a normal single stroke 16th note roll, playing 4, E and that's going to go down your middle tom onto your floor tom. Okay, so we'll have a look at that again at slow speed. There's a bar of rest between each one, so it's broken up and you can hear exactly how it sounds. So what you notice with this is I'm not doing much in the way of accents. When I was showing you the individual rudiment, I was bringing the accents out really big. But on this fill, again, because of the way the song works, it doesn't really accent. It's just quite a fluid, relatively quiet roll around the kit. Again, you could play this as all singles, but personally I find it easier to come out of the 6 tuplets played in this form into a 16th note roll than to go, I'm just trying to speed up my hands and then slow them down, which is what you would do if you were playing faster singles into slower singles. So that's why I like to do it this way. Anyway, let's look at it at a high speed. Right guys, so that is the end of Echo by Incubus. Structurally, all you're doing is very simple. Play through all of these sections, play through them all again, and then you're pretty much done. It's not a particularly complicated song. And yeah, if you've got any questions about anything, feel free to put something in the comments, let me know. Make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, all of that normal YouTube-y stuff. I'm going to be trying to do at the moment, during lockdown, I'm going to be trying to get 2 of these out every week. Every Thursday and every Sunday is going to be lesson day, and I've got some nice little things planned. The main thing that I want to give you as well is that it's not just a lesson in the song, that there's some other things in there. So on the last one, if you've seen the last one, we did a little bit on double kick. This one has been a little bit on rudiments. The next one that I've got planned, possibly going to have a little bit of a look at some time signature stuff. Again, not too crazy, just taking it easy to start off with, and you know, doing it over different lessons. So yeah, hopefully you got something from this one again, and I will see you next time. All right, nice one. Cheers.